I've heard of stories of this reef break that's close to where we live, and a lot of trawlermen scour along the Great Barrier Reef, and they kept saying about this break that when they come past, that it's just something that you'd catch over in Indo, and when it's at your back door, it's like, well, why not go and try it? The weather, the tides, everything was starting to line up. The swell was out there, and it was just keeping on the net, just keeping watch of the weather, because it can just change the next day and then it's not worth the trip.
We're 40 nautical mile off the coast with nothing to protect it. Anything over 10 knots comes in and it's ruined.
Took a variety of boards and booties, and just because I've never surfed it before.
You cover yourself for either surfing, filming, or just going for a bit of a leisure dive or snorkel out on the reef. So I just sort of pack gear according to those sort of expectations.
One of my good mates, he's got a 27-footer. It's sort of like a sports fishing boat.
He curves up the front. Got a new one yesterday.
Yep.
He curved up the front.
One of the other guys, I could have been Jason, even teed him up to take his boat out. So we loaded on. There were 6 of us that went out.
The trip, we were lucky enough that the weather and the wind fell into place, so the trip was a nice smooth. We sat on like 23 knots, 2.5-hour trip, and we were hitting the reef.
Oh yeah, what time did we leave?
Like after 6, really?
Yeah, it was after 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, way after 6.
Everyone was starting to get more and more amped as we were going.
And you could see a bit of swell hitting the reef, and we're going, this could be the day.
It was just interesting to look around on the faces of the guys that hadn't been there, and the guys that had surfed it before, like Jason. And mate, he just lost it. He was just, it was like some little 5-year-old kid had just woken up Christmas morning and there was nothing but 50 presents under the tree just for him.
Oh, a lot of the guys were too busy getting their gear on and hooting instead of trying to anchor up the vessel. Before we even anchored up, half of them were over the edge in the lineup. They just couldn't believe that everything just came together for us.
Says the weather's been fine. Those in his house don't open sometime. Given any excuse, he'll just stay inside. Storm in a teacup is blowing his mind. So what time is it now? Well, no one told me. Where are we going? Well, no one told me. When the hands on his face point straight up at the sky. High noon or midnight, is it left or is it right? Blowing again. That wind's blowing again. And the hibernation's over and the isolation tank has been laid to rest amongst the best of low carpets and planks. They clutter up the backyard like they clutter up my mind. It comes that old wind again, must be some kind of sign. When the riders take their places, horses all at home. There's a whole lot of bases and there's nobody on. When the starting gate is laid again, the tide is turning round. Lloyd Bridges in the undertow going, bubbles going down, blowing again. That wind's blowing again.
It looks softer to what this wave really is like.
Jace, he went out there, caught a few waves and didn't look like much. Snap board.
Show us your board, Jace.
That one.
Yep.
Talk us through it.
Well, what I was doing, right, I cooked it, got caught behind the section, flicked there, up. Now I have 2 boards.
It's like coming from deep water, and it'll just be a shallow, flat reef that'll that the swell will hit and jack.
If you don't make the section, you get washed back up onto the reef a little bit. You're sitting in like 3 foot of water, and you're getting hit by 7-8 foot of foam, and you know, it's just smashes guys.
That's how I've been surfing that for the last hour. Then I'd successfully run him over again and he drowned the poor. I got a bit concerned there for a minute, Adrian, I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, I'm finding it very hard.
I was like, I'm going to have to drag him up the reef in a minute.
I couldn't get up.
Oh, I was coming up and I'm going, man, please come up. Please. And you'd pop up and I'd go, sorry man, I can go down again. Just look at it. Don't worry about our boards at the moment. Just worry about our life.
Yeah, there's still this one wave that I still think about even to this day that I want to try next time to come across it again so I can destroy it. I was sitting there and I'm going, no, am I going to catch it? Yeah, no, and then I decided and it was too late. I took the drop, just got white water spray in my face. And I'm just going, man, I'd had my toes just dug into the wax because I knew if I didn't make it, I would have been sitting at the bottom of the reef with the crayfish feeding off me for a week. Because the reef is just so shallow, but yeah, toes are dug in, made the drop, and then just got covered in white water. I couldn't see where the face of the wave was to line back up. And I just had to, yeah, I couldn't do anything. I just rode it out straight, but after looking at the footage, God, man, if I had a bit more time, I could have set myself up for one of the best barrels that I probably would have ever had.
In the modern day of commercial surfing, to still find this soul surfing, this exploration, this stuff you do surfing for with your mates, that it's still out there, then I think the spirit of surfing is still alive.